Okay, hopefully we are back. I have no idea what happened. If we have a problem again, I'll revert to using my phone. So, fingers crossed. I'm just checking that it's happening on my... And it is. So I'll wait for everyone to join again. So, what a great start to the day. Okay, I think we've got a few more people joining. Hopefully. It shows that I've got 3 people joining. So I will wait to see if you say you're here, and I'll finish my cold cup of tea. And it is really quite cold. Fortunately, it's mostly fruit tea. There's some rhubarb in there, but it's mostly fruit tea. So if you are there, and if you can hear me, and if you can see me, if you could say hello and that everything's okay, that would be so helpful, because I don't like having to drop out and come back in again. Having this set up was supposed to avoid that happening. Best laid plans. So I don't seem to be seeing any comments. Morning, Wendy. Hopefully everyone is... I've got some thumbs ups. Good. Swipe to reveal comments, and yet it's kind of weird. So I can see a comment on my laptop and I can't... Margaret's here and it's okay. Good. What's slightly odd is I'm getting different comments on my laptop from on my mobile. But there we go. Oh no, I think we're catching up. I think we're catching up. So Jeanette's back, Margaret's here, Nora's joined, Rose is here, Margaret McFadden's here. Okay, so where were we? Yes, I'm going to be playing with the Peony suite because it's the one that I know I ordered just for me. So, okay, I know I'm not going to be cutting into people's product shares if I use my own Peony suite. And there are some things I just want to show you, but that I think are a bit confusing. So, yes, that's what we're going to be playing with. And I'm just going to hope that we don't fall off again. If we do, I'll come back on my phone. It's not great, but if we do fall off again, I will come back on my phone. Just give me 2 or 3 minutes to set that up. I'm hoping that it won't be necessary. So, housekeeping. If you are watching for the second time on Tuesday the 9th of June on my Facebook business page, and there's a red square in the top left-hand corner. I have to work out because I'm seeing myself in reverse. So if there's a red square or rectangle in one of the top corners that says live, it's live. Hi B, you're watching live. If you're watching on my Facebook business page and there isn't a rectangle in one of the... Yeah, so it is that one. In one of the top corners, it's not live. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's not live. If you're watching live, I will try and pick up your comments and answer them as I go. If not, I will try and pick up the comments and answer them afterwards. If you're on Facebook and you're not live, could you tag me so that I know that there's a comment for me? So just put Liz Yuille, tag me, and then I'll pick your comment up. If you're on YouTube, I'll pick it up anyway, so that's fine. So, Peony Suite is what we're doing. I have a confession for those of you who weren't on the full start version of this. Because life for the last week or so well, week has been fairly busy because we had the catalogue launch, and then we've got some family issues going on. Nothing to worry about, but time consuming. It does mean that I have let a few things drop, including checking who shared the video 2 weeks ago. So I will do that drawing next week with the drawing for last week. So we'll have 2 drawings next week. So apologies for that. Hi, Renee. Yes, apologies for that, but literally 10 minutes before I was due to go live, it came into my brain, and it was like, I'm not going to have time to do this, so I haven't. So sorry. On the subject of which, of course, that's the other thing I forgot. Bear with me one moment while I just grab something from my... Ooh, no. Ooh, I could. Yes, no, I've done that. And that. I'm just trying to find from my... Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice one. Right, so the prize for this week, which I will draw in 2 weeks' time, is the Do the Impossible. This retired from the last spring-summer catalogue, so from the mini. I have to say I ordered it for myself, and I haven't used it. I have to say, as soon as I knew it was retiring, I deliberately didn't use it so I could use it as a prize. So that's the prize for a fortnight's time. So I will pop that with my prize pile. That's my prize pile over there. So if you're in the UK and you share the video either on YouTube or on Facebook, and if you do it on both, then you get 2 entries, then that will be your prize. If you're not in the UK and you share, and the key is to put shared with a D, then I will give you some of my digital content for free, so that we don't hit postage issues. I didn't realise until after someone from Australia won one of the prizes just how much it was going to cost to send the particular prize to Australia, and I still have to do it. But I have that in my brain. So, new catalogue! I can show you the inside! Yay! I haven't finished tabbing it completely yet. And I have to say I got my tabs from... Have I got the name still? Or did I chop it off? No, I chopped it off. It was an Australian demo, and I think I have got the link somewhere. So I will let you have that. The other person who has done them is Connie Stewart over in the States. She went live with hers in the last 24 hours or thereabouts. So Connie Stewart has definitely got them. And I can't remember the person in Australia that I got them from. Anyway, they are around. Maybe next year I'll actually get myself into some, ahead, and I will do some. But I've got a year to plan, so that's fine. So, let's get crafting. That is the phone, of course. And I'm going to leave it for my husband to answer because he knows I'm doing a live. And it's a local call, so it's probably for him. Anyway, so let's craft. Now I'm going to spin you round and drop you down, and you're going to get to see all sorts of things. So apologies, but you're going to see my ceiling, and then we're going to spin you round, and hopefully... Oh, gone a bit far. That should be about right. Let me just straighten that a wee bit, or it's going to annoy me. So this is the first thing we're going to make. And one of the reasons this is the first thing we're going to make, do let me know if this is fuzzy or, out of focus fuzzy, not pixelated fuzzy, because this does have a focus facility on it, and I'm a bit behind. I'm only just getting the picture up on my phone. It looks okay on my laptop, which is streaming straight into, so I'm hoping it's alright, but it does have a focus. I know it's a bit smaller, but anyway, so this is what we're going to be making first, and this is using the Peony dies, and there are all these kind of weird dies. Let me see if I can find it in the catalogue, because I think there's some confusion as to how to put this together. 178. So this is the better picture. So these are the Peony dies. Do remember that if you go to the back to look at the dies, you will find more samples. So these aren't in the front, these are just in the back here. And this again uses these dies, but I wanted to just show you how to put the peony together, because it's not clear, and it's also not clear on the Stampin' Up website. It's fine. Thank you, Jeanette. Hi, Ali. Haven't said hello to you yet. So I have already die cut all the pieces that I need. Ooh, and apparently a dimensional backing. So yes, I'm going to make this is grey granite, whereas this was basic grey, so I'm going to make similar but different, if you see what I mean. So the pieces that you need to make this are, pop that to one side because we don't actually need that for the moment, or that. So let me lay these out, because as I say, they are a bit confusing until you know how to do it, and once you know how to do it, it's really easy. Can I tell you how odd it is that I can see what I'm doing there but not in live, and I can see live over that way? Anywho, so you've got leaves, you've got leaf outlines, or leaf outlines, and you've got this funny little sort of stamen-y thing. The leaves and the stamen are kind of self-explanatory. I'm going to stick the leaves together first because they do need a bit of time to dry. I've got my craft tweezers, so they automatically shut. And then I'm just going to take some, ooh, far too much, some Tombow, and just add some Tombow to those. And it is fairly obvious which one goes with which one because they are different shapes. But all you're doing is lining up the edge of the veining to the edge of the leaf. So again, just so on the subject of the peony bundle, let me just stick this down. I just then want to have a look at something. So again, this is lining up, but this time it's lining up to the right hand side. So like that. So let me just, preferably without getting glue in the middle, of course. So the peony bundle is, so the stamp set and dies is £59 in the UK. So it's quite a, that's weird. What did that just happen? Something just went very odd on my phone. Bear with me. I'm hoping we're still live. I think it might just be my phone. If you could let me know that you can still see me, that would be brilliant. Because I can't find me on videos. I think it's just my phone dropped out. Thank you for sharing, Karen. And I'm okay. I'm okay. Frenetic, but okay. So yes, the peony bundle is £53 in the UK. Thank you, Rose, because I still can't find, I think I've not got any signal on my phone, which is why I now can't see what's going on. Time to refresh my phone, I feel. Let's get rid of, sorry, just need to, because otherwise I can't see what I am looking at. No, I don't want to create a post. I want to, anyway, I'll carry on while my phone's trying to sort itself out. I will carry on gluing these. So yes, until the end of June, do remember that if you aren't already a demo, and I know a lot of you are, you could add this to your starter kit for free. So yes, I can't believe that it's such a great offer. Right, okay, hopefully I'm back on my phone. Yes. Good. Phew! Okay. It's spinning, but it's still there, which is really all I need. Right, so I've stuck those bits together. The other bits are really quite straightforward. Now, I am going to use glue dots for them, just for speed. So, we've got all these pieces, but how do they fit together? The key for this is to look at these bits here, because if we layer them up, you should see that all these edge pieces line up, and that's actually your clue. That's what we need to be looking at. So I don't think it makes a huge difference which order you put them together in. So if we pop the small one into the next but smallest and line those up, we can then, actually, I'm just going to pull that back a bit, we can then pop a glue dot there and a glue dot over there, and oops, preferably without sticking your two bits together. Probably best to do it before you're actually trying to stick them together, and then they just line up like that, and that's where your stamen's going to go. So we might as well pop him in now. So again, I'm going to add a glue dot to the back of that. The original one I did with liquid glue, but as I say, for speed and for not having to wait for things to dry, I'm using glue dots. So that goes in there like that, and then let's pop another couple of glue dots going in that way, so I want them on the front. Another couple of glue dots on here, and then slide that in, and again line those up. Can you see it coming together? Isn't it fantastic? I mean, really? So straightforward once you know. And then the very last one, and I have to say I put it together the other way round first time. I think this is easier, starting small and going big. But there you are, there's your peony, and then you can, you know, do some 3D stuff just by folding. The one in the catalogue I think is actually made of Whisper White that's then been sponged with Petal Pink, and they've also used, rather than basic grey, I was trying to stay in the colour range, but rather than basic grey they've used one of the yellows, I don't know which one. They haven't owned up to that one. And then for the leaves, and again you can do a little bit of shaping, just pop a glue dot on, and preferably the right way up, of course. Just add your leaves. So, as I say, I think it's quite a complicated, as in because it's not given you the information, but hopefully this helps. It's just fantastic, and I have to say I sat and looked at it for quite a long time until I worked out how it worked. But that just may be me. Maybe you knew how it worked. But the video that Stampin' Up have done on the suite doesn't actually show you how it works. So I thought it would be useful just to go over that. Now, I've got ordered the new seal, but I haven't got it yet, so I'm using snail. Snail is permanent-ish. If you have any humidity, not so much. Seal is supposed to be humidity proof, if you like. So I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way up for this paper. Basically, whichever way up I have it, it seems to look wrong. But this is the right way up, this is the wrong right way up, this is the wrong way up. Just, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Not convinced that's straight, but never mind. And then the problem with this paper is that for most of the sheets, both sides are so wonderfully gorgeous. You don't want to use either because you're covering one of them up. Personally, just get another pack like that. And this I'm going to just use some tear and tape because it's quick and tough. And it just speeds things up a bit. And I'm going to make sure I'm sticking everything together. So I've got the leaves covered just in case. Like that, and I might do a triangle, and then grab my take your pick. And no, I still haven't found the top of my take your pick. This is a new take your pick, so that I've got all of the tools ready to go, which I know sort of defeats the object of the exercise, but I quite like having them all. One day I will find the other one of these. Don't know when that will be, but one day. And then that's just going to go there. And obviously you could put a sentiment on and all that good stuff. So that is how you build your peony. I can't decide which one I prefer, the basic grey or the grey granite. I think the grey granite, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's that one. So the next one, we'll be using the stamps. So I want to use this enormous stamp and do some colouring. It's not going to take a huge amount of time to do the colouring. You may think it will, but actually it won't. So I'm going to grab my, I think it's my E block. It is my E block. Let's pop it on. That's better. So, just see if I've got any more comments. Right, so I need a piece of Whisper White. I was going to say a scrap, but you know, they are quite big pieces that you need. So that will fit. I've got my basic grey stamp pad. Oh, and there is something else that I want to do as well, but later. So I've got my basic grey. Because this is the sort of the dark colour in the paper, rather than going to black, I'm using basic grey. Even though I'm going to be using blends. So I'll actually go that way because I think it fits better. So hold that down. Fingers crossed. Yay! Oh, stunning. Stunning, stunning. You almost don't need to do anything to it. It's just a gorgeous image. And clean my stamp up. I may break out a new chamois to celebrate the new catalogue. I love the DSP as well, Ali. It's just gorgeous. What is still very odd is I'm getting different comments on each of my devices. It's very bizarre. I think it's just because my laptop is showing real time, whereas my phone isn't. But yeah, so I'm then going to, before I colour it, and there is method in my madness, there's two methods in my madness, I'm going to take this die and die cut it, and I will then explain what the method is in my madness. Let me grab my plate. Now these dies will, when we get it, oops, need to turn that over. I think I've mentioned this before. If your plate bounces, turn it over, and then it helps keep it flat. So let's pop that on, and I will run that through my Big Shot, which is what I've got at the moment, and then I'll explain what I was going to say when I suddenly remembered that I needed to turn my plate over. Right, okay, so I will actually dig out the catalogue again to show you this, but let me just, so we're going to page, I think it's 178, yes it is. So on page 178, oh yes, the reason it's stamped so nicely, it's a distinctive. It's 178, right. So in the catalogue, and I did mention this on my walkthrough, if it's got this, I think it's probably Blackberry Bliss or Rich Razzleberry blob, it means it will fit through when we get them, the smaller of the two die cutters. The only one I would say I would be challenged on is this strip, because it will fit through, but you'll have to fit it through sideways, which means you can only cut something that is, I think it's 3 inches wide, so just so you are aware. But they all otherwise will fit through. We are waiting to hear when the new machine is available, and I will let you know as soon as I do. So the reason I die cut this before I coloured it is twofold. A, it gives the ink a chance to dry, and even if you're using Memento, you want to make sure your ink is actually properly dry before you start colouring it. But it also means that if I had spent time colouring it and then something went wrong with the die cutting, I wouldn't be going, but I've just die cut it, or just coloured it rather, you know, it's just a little bit of logic there. So I have got Soft Seafoam, So Saffron and Petal Pink, and I've got the light Old Olive. Now remember, these are only available now as combos, just so you remember that. So I'm going to start with my, actually I'm going to start with my light, I think, my light Petal Pink, and, oh, and I need another colour, I just realised, and just, all I'm going to do is colour the whole of the flower with Petal Pink, and I'm going to concentrate mostly on the white rather than where I've stamped, purely again because otherwise you could, it is still a little dry, a little damp, and it could just smudge. So if you want to use a colour that is not Memento, or an ink that is not Memento, please don't use StazOn. I read on a forum on Facebook recently that someone, when asking which ink you should use with alcohol markers, someone suggested StazOn. The poor girl who suggested StazOn, I mean, you'd think she'd suggested you go and get into cahoots with the devil. I have to say, I was staggered that anyone said StazOn, but she swears she can use StazOn. Please don't. Not recommended. Right, before I forget, I'm just going to go into the middle there with my So Saffron. I actually only need the dark. And then I'm going to put some shading in with my dark. And not a huge amount. Most of the shading is done by the stamp. So I'm really just following where there is already shading. And you can see I'm not being particularly fussy about it, because it's part of nature. It's not going to be perfect. So let's not get hung up on perfection. Just put it where you think you should have some. and you know, it's fine. And if you want to blend it in a bit more, then just go over with your light petal pink again. Now peonies come in all sorts of colours, so don't be limited by the colours of the suite. I am for the moment, but yeah. This time I'm going to start with the dark, so I'm going to go in with the Old Olive and do my shading with the Old Olive. And I've only chosen soft sea foam for my leaves because I don't want those to be the main feature. I want the flowers to be the main feature. Oh, I need some there as well, don't I? Now, I have missed, I need to bring in my dark Old Olive, I have realised. Dark soft sea foam. Actually, I want the other end. So I used soft sea foam, Old Olive and Petal Pink for the die cut version, which is why I'm kind of using the same colours for this, just so that we're staying in the same palette. So one of the things I found very, very surprising when I did my unboxing yesterday was just how stunning the abstract, what's it called? Not Playing with Patterns, it's the other one. Artistry Blooms, is it Artistry Blooms? Yes, the Artistry Blooms designer series paper. Oh, it's stunning! Absolutely stunning! So I'm just going to come in with the Old Olive Dark for the stems. Oh, no, don't need any on the leaves. Why am I putting Old Olive Dark on the leaves? And that is basically our peony. So let me tuck those away in my little box of tricks and just bring that up to the camera so that you can see it a little better. But isn't that lovely? It, as I say, the stamp does all the work for you. You really don't need to do anything. Obviously you can, but you don't need to. Right, so let's pop that onto a card. So I'm thinking, actually no, that's a bit dark. That's a bit too. It's a bit too really. So what I'm going to do is have a small piece and a piece of. Actually, I was going to go Petal Pink, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go soft sea foam, apparently a piece of bent soft sea foam. Flatten that out a bit. Right, what I now need is that. So I'm going to bring in grey granite and a scrap. And I've been sunflowering. There's a surprise. And what I want to bring in is that stamp. Must clean my blocks again because they're not very clean. And that stamp. And what I want to do is make my own designer series paper, but I want to make it so that it's really quite faint. So I've got my grey granite and I'm going to, yeah, twice I think. Once. And I'm going to alternate. Actually, no, I won't. I used to be indecisive and all that. Now remember, we do have the peony, which is going to fill quite a lot of this. I'll leave that for the moment. Might come back in again in a minute. And then I want to just fill in some of the gaps. And again, I'm deliberately turning the stamps over so there's no up and down. That should just about, yes, phew. And there. And no, actually, no, I'm going to come in. This one has just been stamped off, so and then finally down there. So a very pale background with grey granite. Those will need cleaning in a moment. So let's pop that away, and I am going to put a sentiment onto this. So let's actually, I'm going to use, I quite often, if I'm using liquid adhesive, put it onto the mat rather than the layer on top, particularly if I've used the smooth Whisper White. It's less likely to bobble the Whisper White if you put it onto the layer underneath. And press. So we've just got that very, very thin line of soft sea foam around the outside, and I am going to have that coming in, but I want, because it's gorgeous, to use a piece of ribbon. And tear and tape. So just a couple of bits of tear and tape. You could use glue dots instead, but tear and tape's good enough for me. And then I just like to line up my ribbon onto one of the grid lines, and I'm fairly relaxed about exactly which grid line. Pop my tear and tape down, and press. So tell me, which is your favourite suite in the catalogue so far? And I say so far because we change our minds, we're crafters, but I would love to know which is your favourite suite. Apart from anything else, it means that I might be able to feature it for you. So is it one that you love so much that you've already ordered? Is it one that you like but you don't know quite what to do with? If you can just let me know, that would be lovely. So that's that, and then that's going to go there. Actually, I'm going to pop it up so it's not going to go quite like that, and then I want a sentiment. Might pop the sentiment down at the bottom. So let's go slightly gooey and go love and thanks to a dear friend, which is slightly gooey for me. And I need a little bit of basic black, not basic black, basic grey, I think. This is why I like to keep my little strips, because it then means that when you need something diddy, you have something diddy. Oh, I wonder how wide that is. May or may not work. Okay, right, now I can't get out of my habit. I'm sorry, but I'm a person of habit. So I have still got my embossing buddy, and I'm going to use my embossing buddy. It's not available anymore. Don't know why. This is available. I did a project. Was it over the weekend? Was it my Simple Stamping Saturday? I think it might have been. and I used copper embossing powder because I had completely forgotten that it had dropped or retired. And it wasn't until I went to do my shop list that I realised it had gone. Peony Sweet and the Tasteful Textures. Yeah, I can get my head around that. Anyone else? I think the Peony Sweet is going to be very popular. I love the Peony Sweet. I am obviously going to like the Flowers for Every Season because it's got sunflowers in it. So why wouldn't I like it? Because I like sunflowers. Right, it's going to get noisy, guys. Sorry, but it is. So the peony is your favourite flower in real life, Nora? Yeah, I kind of want a peony. I'm not quite sure that I'd be able to grow one, but... Right, put that away, and then let's see if our thingy will work. Will this go through? I'll make it work. I will make it work. It's not terribly straight, but it's kind of okay. So I'm going to make this work. This is actually a little narrow, but I'll make it work. Yeah, maybe a bit shorter. That's better. That should be about right. And this is the one that I do need to make sure I get absolutely straight, because I'm asking it to do something that it really doesn't want to do with a very small piece of card. And now I can't get it out. Couldn't make it up, could you? Where's my tweezers? There they are. That's okay, that'll work. Right, oh, and I know what I can use. Woo! So we're going to have this down here, down in the little corner. I'll probably go over a little bit. I'm going to use grey granite card so that it's tying in with the back. So let's actually pop this on and glue, glue, glue. So that's that. Then, where are they? I know they're here. Sparkles. They're sparkly. These are gorgeous. They're called the Elegant Faceted Gems. They are stunning. I don't think you're going to know how stunning they are until you see them. Honestly. The tip about the glue. Which tip about the glue, Wendy? You mean putting it on the mat? But yes, which tip? It's nice to know which one's useful. Right, so I'm going to pop up my peony. going to use a reasonable number, because it's what am I trying to say? The smooth whisper white, that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to use some of the edge pieces for some of it. So, actually it might go that way better. And I want probably that much. Ideas for the whale suite. I have to say I haven't ordered the whale suite yet, Bee, but I'm tempted because the paper is so gorgeous. But as I'm of the Love Children Couldn't Eat a Whole One brigade, it wasn't one that I instantly ordered. I personally think that the paper for the whale suite needs to be left pretty whole to get the best out of it, rather than cutting it to a standard card front. I would be tempted to make 6x6 cards with it, which does mean you then have to think about envelopes, because obviously we don't do 6x6 envelopes. But yes, I will have a think. Any others? So yeah, oh right, thank you, Wendy. So it's the whole putting the glue onto your mat rather than onto your whisper white. It makes a whole heap of difference. Yeah, whole heap of difference. Okay, so let's pop that there, and this down there, and I am deliberately going off the end of my, or the edge of my mats, and then I think we need a bit of bling. So I'm going to go clear for the centre of the flower, because then that will pick up the yellow, because the yellow will actually, these are clear and these are opaque. Then I think we can probably justify one there. And you know me, I like my threes, or my odd numbers, so I'm going to pop one of these. And I also like my triangles. Ooh, or shall I put it inside? I think I might put it inside. But inside where? There, I think. So I'm going to tuck that one. I am going to tuck that one. Bear with me while I don't stab myself with that end. And there we go. So that's that one. Isn't that lovely? Can you see the glitter, the shimmer? So we've got a bling there, trying to get it to catch the light a bit. I will have photos on my website, because as you know, I will share this on my website. Very strange, I can see your comments. I now can't see the video on my phone. I'm just going to keep going. Could you just let me know that everything's still working all right? Oh, Margaret, you've just left a message, comment, so that's good. But really not difficult. I mean, you do need the dies. You need the dies. But think about making your own background paper. Not difficult. Pink and grey, absolutely, Nora. It's just a match made in heaven. Absolutely a match made in heaven. Okay, so that's that. I do want to make a third. And I think I'm going to use the Peony again. And I think I'm going to... Actually, no, there is something I definitely want to do first. Right. So, bear with me. Because I've got my new inks, and I've got some of the new blends. What I don't have yet is the cinnamon cider. I forgot it. So what I thought we could do is I'm going to grab a scrap of something. As in, by scrap I mean something that isn't cut to a specific size. That will do. Let's pop that into my scraps. And I'm actually going to use that, because we've got it out. Let me just clean it. And I thought what we could do is actually look at each of the colours for each of the new things. So let me get rid of this, because that's going to be in the way. Thank you, Lorna, for both, for sharing and for liking it. So this is Bumblebee. Bumblebee. What I might actually just grab is, I'll see if I can find the closest colour I can find to it in inks. So Bumblebee and Crushed Curry. And I haven't tested this. They are actually different. Bumblebee is darker than Crushed Curry, which is a surprise. That is a surprise. Let me just grab a pen. Crushed Curry. Not all of them are going to have similar colours. The next one I will do, because I know it does, is Magenta Madness, which I will pair with Melon Mambo. These are literally the first time I have used these ink pads. All I've done so far is set them up. So label them. Wow, that's bright. That's not me saying I don't like it, because I do. So that's Magenta Madness. This is Melon Mambo. Yeah, I think we can see a difference there. Let me close this up and then I will bring the... Can you see the difference? I will photograph this and put it on my website. That's definitely lighter, that's definitely not as bright. Misty Moonlight, I don't know what I could pair that with. Night of Navy, I guess. Ooh, I like that. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have a blue peony, but I do like that. It's definitely nowhere near Pacific Point, so I'm not even going to try Pacific Point. This is Night of Navy. Definitely darker. This is a bit greener. Again, I'll pick it up in a minute so you can see. So this I would say is greener. This is nearer Dapper Denim, if it's anything. Do I have a swatch of Dapper Denim? Yes. Yeah, if it's anything, it's near Dapper Denim. Yeah. Right, cinnamon sage, cinnamon cider, and just jade. Let me think. Well, I'll use Call Me Clover. And so I'm going to go Cajun Craze and Call Me Clover as the two probably nearest. Might need another piece of card, she says, knowing that she's going to need another piece of card. So that's those. Let me do Cajun Cray. Actually, I'll do cinnamon cider first. Then I know that I've got the in colours at the top. Now, of course, Call Me Clover has now stopped. But this is cinnamon cider. Ooh, I like that. That's actually not as orange as I was expecting it to be. I mean, it's drying a bit more orange. So that's that. Let me have a look at Cajun Craze. Which is definitely redder. That's got a lot more of a redness to it. Ooh, there's a thought. I'm not going to tell you what this is just yet. Definitely different. That's terracotta tile. And I just wondered if it was going to have a bit more of the... But it hasn't. A bit more of the... I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, Just Jade. Yeah, I can get my head around that. Call Me Clover, I hate. I'm so pleased that it wasn't one that was there for a longer time. Yeah, really don't like. I mean, it's a good emerald green if you want an emerald green, but I prefer Just Jade. It's got a bit more blue in it. It is totally different, but just for another comparison. Only because I said it's got a bit more blue. That's Pretty Peacock. And if I pop Misty Moonlight, so this is definitely green, whereas this isn't, and this is definitely darker. But that's quite interesting, I think. So that's all of those. The other thing I wanted to go and have a look at were the new blends. So let's start with the greens. So these are Just Jade. As I say, I don't have cinnamon cider. I've been using, as a kind of substitute until I had them, Shaded Spruce. So Just Jade Dark, Just Jade Light. I like them. They are true to colour. And then Shaded Spruce and Shaded Spruce Light. Definitely not the same colours. These are very much more of a green. Right, which one's that? Dark Melon Mambo. Right, so we're going to go this way. As I say, I don't have the cinnamon cider yet, and I honestly don't think, I'll bring it in just in case, I don't think Pretty Peacock is going to be anywhere useful from a Just Jade point of view, or indeed from a Misty Moonlight point of view. So that's that's Pretty Peacock. Melon Mambo, yes, Dark Melon Mambo. So actually, let's do them in the same order. So that's Magenta Madness and Magenta Madness. So this is Dark Magenta Madness, which is bright, and then Light Magenta Madness, which is even brighter. This one is reasonably close to Magenta Madness ink. This is Melon Mambo, which is new as a blend anyway, and then this is Light Melon Mambo. And then, just because let me... Is that the right ones? So this is Lovely Lipstick. Yeah, they're definitely more muted. They're closer to Melon Mambo, but they're not the same. They are definitely different. Can you see those? Again, I'll have photos on my website which hopefully will make it clearer. So that's the reds. There isn't a Bumblebee blend. It's not that I don't have it, there isn't one. So this is Misty Moonlight, which that dark is definitely Misty Moonlight. That's the light Misty Moonlight. And let's just grab Night of Navy. Which is definitely bluer. These have got more green in, but they are also different from the Peacock. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Right, so let's do one more card really quickly, really quickly. So I'm going to go right off the end of the scale. Just saying. Let me grab another random piece. And you're going to think I have completely lost the plot. And I probably have. But hey, I'm allowed to lose the plot every now and again. And this is because they come in every colour. So why shouldn't I have Magenta Madness peonies? It's certainly bright. And then, let's hope this has got some... I have a new one. I love blend brushes, blender pens. So, and I know I've broken my own rule of not die cutting first, but you know, I don't care. Now, just in case you wondered, currently the re-inkers for the new in colours are not available. Oops, that was a bit dark. We've got the German customs to thank for that, so currently we can't order them. I have no doubt that they will come in fairly soon, so hopefully by the time we need to re-ink, they will be with us. Now, the other thing you could probably do with this is just use your blender, your light blender pen, not blender pen, blend. But I do like to do other things occasionally. I'm pilling. Naughty demonstrator, pilling. So pilling is using something wet in the same place for too long, so it breaks down your card. And it goes fuzzy. Don't want fuzziness. So this is going to be very, 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 very bright. But I just want to make the point that you can have different coloured peonies. And I know I've now got magenta coloured leaves, but we're not going to have magenta coloured leaves. Honest, trust me, I am a demonstrator. And it will be okay. Honest. Silence. So it's the spot challenge today, and today we've got I have a peony in my garden that's bright pink, so I'm not making it up. I mean, they do come in the most amazing colours. So yes, the spot challenge today is an interesting, as in it was quite challenging, sketch. So if anyone would like to take part in that, my post should have gone live about 15 minutes ago, I hope. Just cleaning off my blender pen. So it's now got a bright pink tip, but it's actually clean. So that's that. Right, so let's go on the basis that we are always told that in colours go together. Let's just see. No, I'm going to need another piece of card. Come along. I think that's 2 bits of card, yes. Just want one. So I am going to ink this up again, and I haven't inked it terribly well, but it doesn't matter for what I want to do. So yeah, I didn't ink it up at all well, but it doesn't matter. So, just to prove, I was going to say just to prove it's clean, so not. So what have I done for the spot challenge? You know, I can't remember. Oh yes, I did, surprisingly, fussy cutting, using, surprisingly, the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper. Who would have thought? And I know these aren't the right colour green for peonies. So that's that. Scribble that off. It's one of the reasons I like this patterned grid paper, because you've got an area where you can scribble. Thank you, Margaret. Right, okay, so let me grab the dies, and I'm going to die cut both of these and then I will be back momentarily. Momentarily I will be back. You can see I didn't plan this. Why would I ever plan? I mean, I did plan, and then things started going pear-shaped. So that's that one. And this one. So what I'm going to do is find my snips, and from this one I am going to cut out the flower, and I'm really not fussed that this has got, oh, I've just noticed something I haven't coloured, that this has got a white edge here but not where I'm cutting, because it won't show. It will not show. And then I just need to go in there, get rid of that leaf, and then just having to check what I've done in Just Jade and what I haven't. Right, so the bit that I missed was there. So you can be a bit more precise when you do this, if you do this. I mean, we need adhesive under there, for example, but we now have our Magenta Madness and Just Jade Peony. That's our backing paper, and let's go Magenta Madness. Ooh, that's fuzzy. I had to just change the blade on my trimmer. First time I've changed my blade. Just saying. But that's why I had to change my blade. And put that there, have that there. Let's grab that. And then we will be done. Far too much adhesive. And ribbon. Tear and tape is buried. What a surprise. If you ever wondered if Stampin' Up colours matched, just saying. It doesn't actually matter which way up I put this because it hasn't got anything on it. So I want that about there. So that's that one. Let's get straight. And is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. Yes. Didn't put that in the right place, did I? Oh well, never mind. It'll be fine. It'll have to be. So that's that. Let me grab a white card base. Don't actually think, no, that's not a white card base, that's a piece of white card. That's a white card base. The other one was just ordinary Whisper White. And pop that on. Yes, definitely. And I'm actually going to use the same, she says, if she can find it, the same sentiment. Oh, there it is. Which I should have stamped before I stuck everything together, but you know. And this I'm just going to stamp. I'm just going to check whether I've got the label on straight. Yes. I do like to just check that I have the label straight before I haven't. More or less straight. So let's get rid of that. So that was Magenta Madness again. I'm not going to stick quite as many Hoofa Doofers dimensionals on this time, just for speed. And then we've basically got the same card as the second one we made, but looking totally different. So for that, I'm actually going to use some of our new In Colour enamel dots. That's a bit doolally, but so if that happens, what you might want to do is put a glue dot underneath. So let me on there. We had one in there, and I'm wondering one in there. So our cards are for today. Clear some of the decks. Those are actually the same card, and then our two 3D peonies, obviously one that I made before and one that I made on film, as it were. So thank you very much. I will leave it there. Thank you for joining me again today. I will be loading this up onto my YouTube, so if you want to go back and have a look, please do. As ever on my YouTube, I will have links to the products. I'll have close-ups on my website. If you watch on YouTube, please do subscribe. I'm currently at just over 8,500, and I'm aiming for 9,000 as soon as. So yes, thank you for those of you who shared. If you share over on YouTube as well, then you get 2 entries rather than 1. And yeah, thank you very much indeed. I will see you again very soon, and hopefully next Tuesday. In the meantime, keep safe, keep well, and thank you for joining me again today.